Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm the host, Super Ninja Austin. This is the 57th episode of the SNA podcast, which is the NXT review part. That means it's the part 8th episode of the NXT review. Let's begin. We got starting off on the latest edition of NXT. We have the man Becky Lynch introducing herself as Ann Beck's women's champion, Big Time Bex, and the women's champion of NXT herself, Becky Lynch. And let's see what she said exactly. Here's where she welcomes the Capital Wrestling Center fans by saying, let's see right here, when everybody was cheering for her. This is where Becky Lynch was on the microphone thing. The NXT Women's Champion Becky Lynch, but after a brutal Extreme Rules match against Tiffany at No Mercy, the man is now medically cleared to compete, unfortunately. And the fans start booing, boo, we did not want to hear that. Becky Lynch was like, bud, I'm not like this doing championship either, because we beat the absolute piss out of each other. And I give respect for the former women's championship. And I would not have it any other way, because every single time I step in the ring and defend this title and everything, I gave everything I did. And I want my opponent to do the same, and then Tiffany just exactly did that. And then this is where she also says, but I told you that I want this title, and then I want to represent it to the best of my ability, and then I want to elevate it to hype. On the height that none of you fans seen before. And I want to defend it everywhere I go. And I'm looking at the calendar. And she's like, I want to see the next thing. On the night one of the Halloween Havoc. I was like, wait, they're going to have a night one and night two? Just keep watching to the very end when we're going to talk about more about Halloween Havoc. Well, at least in the women's division, of course. And there'll probably be plenty more on night one and night two, which is going to be towards the end of this month in October, because for the holiday of October, which is Halloween. And then I bet they're probably doing this just because AEW might have some kind of a big event for the spooky holiday of the year on AEW's Dynamite show. And then and it's also been confirmed that AEW Dynamite next week is going to be on next Tuesday. And then I'm going to be doing the SNA podcast on both the NXT review and the AEW Dynamite review. But make sure y'all check that out. Too bad I wasn't doing an SNA podcast a couple years ago when NXT and AEW were going head to head. But anyways, we're going to talk about more about Becky Lynch right here, with Becky Lynch also stating, like, I know that I'm having a little bit of a road like with Tegan Knox on Raw, and she was like, I wonder when we're going to have that match. But before she can have a chance to finish, this is where Lyra Valkyria interrupted her. She was like in June of 2014, you made your NXT debut, and let's see right here. And she was like, that was the first episode of NXT I've ever saw. And then she was like, I saw an Irish girl in this very ring, and I started training that very week. And then she was like, your debut has motivated me, and then actually kickstarted my career. Like, since your debut. And this is when fans start chanting, what? Like, if she's Stone Cold Steve Austin or Kurt Angle, or any of the guys that they wanted in the Attitude Era, or even in the modern day. But I'll say mostly Stone Cold and Kurt Angle. When Stone Cold created it, or Kurt Angle or the fans started annoying Kurt Angle when he was the heel at the time. But anyways, this is where Lyra Valkyria also said, like, I know you. You know yourself as the man. Everybody around the world that are WWE fans are know that you're the man. And he said, "Do you have any idea of what you've done for people that, or what you've done for Irish wrestlers, including us women, and what have you done for me as myself here in WWE now? And then I will never forget that, and I want to thank you for that." And then she was like in 2,000 people on the state, unfortunately, haven't even had an opportunity to be on the big screen. Like they showed what she said, and then they showed, and then once when y'all had an event in the Europe tour, like where in Ireland, this I remember saw on the truck where it has your face on there, and that, let's see right here, and it's like this, and then this whipper is hyping up the whole entire crowd, and he's like, "Do you realize that was so inspiring for someone like me coming from behind you into this industry?" And then she also said, like, "I'm always able to push harder and go the extra mile because you were here making the impossible seem doable." And then you should, like, Becky, like, "Come from the road for me." And you became the first ever woman to ever main event at WrestleMania. And dude, like, all these. And this is when and then before she can finish her sentence, like, this is where the fans start chanting, "Big Tom Bex, Big Tom Bex." I was like, yeah, like, and she also won that very same WrestleMania, like, which was a very long WrestleMania event that I watched on my older phone, like, which was probably like my second ever phone that I've had. But yeah, she main event at WrestleMania and been the first ever woman to do so, and even winning the championship, become Becky 2 belts. But anyway, let's finish off with her promos and this was like, in all these years later, my career finally came full circle, and then I stood side by side with the man, and in the main event of NXT, which she did, like, was it 2 weeks ago, like, with her teaming with Becky Lynch to take on Kiana James and Tiffany Stratton, which that was probably the most inspiring thing that Lyra Valkyria ever did, like, especially with like your most biggest inspiring dream that she ever achieved as a professional wrestler, and having Becky Lynch as her big inspiration is an Irish female wrestler. And then Lyra Valkyria, like, "I don't know if you think I am ready." And this is when the fans started complimenting Lyra, saying, "You were ready." I was like, and I was thinking, like, yeah, she's ready. Like, and I was like, no one can be any better having Becky Lynch's next title defense against another NXT women's wrestler, none other than being Lyra Valkyria herself. And then it looks like that might be the case. Just keep watching. Anyway, that's what Becky was like. I think more importantly, every member of the WWE universe knows that you are damn ready to face me for the NXT Women's Championship. This is where, before they made it made this official, this is where I believe Indy Hartwell came out. She was like, "Hold it, like Becky." He's like, "You're not the only woman that need to come back to NXT with a point to prove." And I was like, "Indy, like, what's the point of you leaving?" But Indy, what's the point of you leaving NXT till when you got drafted to Raw, and you just relinquished that title? So what's the point of you coming back here? Like, no disrespect to the Australian superstar, but I would say, But I think this could make sense because she's not really doing much on Raw, and two, she got injured. She really didn't have a chance to hold on to that title either way. Like, what if she got drafted because for the fact that she got drafted to Raw and she sustained that injury, where she had to relinquish it like double times regardless. But and maybe this could be the best way to have that opportunity get once again to become NXT Women's Champion if she can go past the man Becky Lynch. But we got more to talk about that in just a moment. And this is where Indy Hart was like nice speech, but nowhere mention of that speech. You shocked the world by becoming NXT Women's Champion at the biggest stand of all times, which is their version of. Which he was referring to the NXT version of WrestleMania Stand and Deliver, just only for days after she had to relinquish it of getting injured. I was like, yeah, that was very unfortunate and tragic. And then she was like, see, I never lost what's on your shoulder, Becky. And I think I deserve an opportunity for the Women's Championship. And then so Big Time Bex wanted to go on Mondays and Tuesday. Then so can I. I was like, I guess that makes sense for making that analogy. She can make an appearance on both Raw and NXT, but that's only if she earned herself this opportunity for the paint splatter white strap championship. And this was I will always because NXT will always be home. Man, that's a home for all kinds of big time wrestlers. Just name it, and especially former NXT champions. Whether if they're the champion, they're the women's championship, tag team champion, or the North American champion, or even wrestlers that are now in AEW. That's still the home. That's still their home in NXT because that's where they got their start from. And even other wrestlers from Impact and New Japan. Just ask them that they said. Even though we're still not in WWE no more, we still would claim it home, if we ever made our WWE return, but that's only if they do. But this is where Indy Hartwell was. This is our sentence. I watch you go. I grow up and I got married right where you're standing, right here on the altar into this ring, and she at least in kayfabe, of course, because she didn't really got married. Because her and Dexter Lumis not really a thing. She's like, and now I'm coming back for something I never lost. And this is where Roxanne Perez came out. She was and she was complimenting her. She was like, I have much respect for when I say this. You achieve a lot right after you left NXT, and then you did what everybody said you couldn't do. And you just I'm not gonna come back here and try to rely on my accolades and accomplishments. But a few weeks ago, you looked at me in the eye and told me to sit on the back and rest up. And then, but I don't think I want to rest. And this is where Roxanne was like, I'm standing here to tell you that I respect you. I respect you as the main eventer. I respect you as all your manias that you headlined. I respect you. I even respect you to look you dead in the face in the eyes that I want a shot at your NXT Women's Championship. Or she wants her NXT Women's title back. My mistake on that. And that's when the fans, not sure if they know how to react on this, though they got mixed reactions of how they feel. They truly feel. This is where Becky Lynch is like, all right, okay, to the fans and the wrestlers. Okay, you made some excellent points, but I think you can do a little less talking, a little more fighting if you want a shot at my NXT Women's Championship. And then Becky Lynch also said how about I say this, how about the three of you face each other in a triple threat match, and the winner will be number one contender for my NXT Women's Championship at the first night of Halloween Havoc. And what do you think about Halloween Havoc being a 2-night event? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. Do you think they're just trying to do this to have something special since it's not going to be an exclusive pay-per-view on Peacock, or is it trying to go head-to-head with All Elite Wrestling? But yeah, we gonna have a trip there. Oh, Uncle SNA miss you too. Pre-cheers, everybody, all the viewers. My nephew Atreyu's back. Yay! But anyways, let's move on to the next segment, which is the breakout tournament. Which show all kinds of breakout tournament participants in the women's. We got Jakara Jackson. We got Carmen Petrovich. We got Izzy Dame. We have let's see. Izzy Dame, Danny Palmer, and let's see, and Kalani Jordan, the former protege of the latest release star Dana Brooke, which she's going on her own now, and then it's been noted that she's a fan favorite that's going to win this breakout tournament. And what do you think? Do you think that Kalani Jordan should win, or somebody else in this tournament is going to win? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. And also, we have Ariana Grace, which she's the real life daughter of Santino Marella. And then then 8 of these women are gonna try to see who are actually gonna earn themselves an opportunity for the NXT Women's Championship. And then next up, we got Butch and Tyler Bate. I think they see your they see your ice cream cone. You made your statement. You made your point. But anyways, what you're doing, Trey? Anyway, we got the 2 members of the former British Strong Style wrestlers taking on the Gallus Boys, Wolfgang and Mark Coffey, which this is where it started off with Mark Coffey taking on Butch. This is where he started hitting him with a grappling headbutt. This is where Butch spun him around, pushed him right into got him right to the right side of the ropes of the corner. Irish whipped him right into the other side. This is where he ducks, leapfrogs, and then hits another duck. And a running left-handed clothesline. Left arm, my apology. Left arm clothesline. This is where he goes right up to the apron. This is where Wolfgang tried to atray you. Uncle SNA gotta finish his recap from Butch and Tyler Bate taking on Gallus. This is where Wolfgang trying to attack. This is where he hits him with a forearm. This is where Mark Coffey tried taking advantage. This is where he tried to attack him. This is where he hits him with a step up in security. Uncle SNA loves it. This is where Wolfgang clotheslined him back in the ring. This is where Butch got up. This is where Mark Coffey hits a running uppercut right onto the head of Butch. This is where he drags him right back into his corner, throwing him head first right into the middle between the turnbuckle pad. This is where he tags in Wolfgang. This is where Wolfgang hits him with a pain-killing fist right into Butch's midsection, which I bet that felt really bad. What are you looking for? Uncle try to help you find whatever you're looking for as soon as he gets done with his podcast, Birdie Bird. Can't grab what? Excuse me for a second. What do you want to grab out of here? Right here? No. Yes? No. Box. No, you can't move this box. Okay, fine. As long as it's gonna. Sorry for a step back, but anyway, I'm back. But this is where he hits him head first right into the tip. But Wolfgang starts stomping on him. That's where he knee him right into the face. And then this is where he shoves him right into his face. Right after he does that, he tags in Mark Coffey, and then he lifts him up right on with the shoulder and arm up, so he can hit him right into the chest with his right hand. This is where he twists Butcher's arm. This is where he throws his arm and his whole entire body right to the middle of Tina the Turnbuckle once again. This is where he starts squeezing the neck of Butch right under his head. This is where Wolfgang grabs his left arm, starts trying to crank it up and try to twist it where it's not supposed to be, like in a place like in the opposite direction of his arm. This is where he tries to lift him up, and this is where Butch starts chopping and forearm and punching him. Okay, I'm back. This is where he hit the chop right onto his chest. This is where he bends his arm and also his fingers on the ground. This is where he starts putting him right on the mat. This is where Butch hits the stomp right onto his arm, looking like Shayna Baszler, making it bend where it's not supposed to be. This is where Booker T started getting more excited again than a homeless man in a hurricane. This is where Butch was like, yeah, this is how I roll. And then this is when Butch starts continuing to work on that arm. And this is when the fans start chanting bruiserweight to him. This is where he finally gets the tag with Tyler Bate, start twisting in his arm. This is where Tyler Bate twists the other side. They bend it forward and where it's not supposed to be and try to twist it on the other side. This is where they halfway did so, but they bent him right into the ground, putting him face first on the ground, and they hit a 2-for-1 double team stomp right on the both of his arms, which I bet that don't really feel good because it's one thing that you getting hit with one arm, but getting hit with both arms is another. Like, and it's a very dangerous, different story that I ever witnessed in all of professional wrestling. And this is where Wolfgang was like, Barry could feel his arms after that stomps, the double stomps on his arm. Like I was like, yeah, if they did that with the rest of his body parts, he's done for, totally done for the night. But this is where Tyler Bate picks him up right into his shoulders into a fireman's carry, which he was having trouble trying to do so, but he got countered by Wolfgang with a single axe handle, and a European uppercut. I understand how he recovered from getting hit with that. I'll say not entirely, but he recovered for him to use his arms again. I bet he probably got bruised in the process, but not in the process. I mean, he probably got bruised in the process of getting double teamed, of course. But he could still use him like in a shocking manner. Like I don't know how he resurrected from this. This is where, let's see right here. Let's see what happened next. This is where Mark Coffey tried to get into the match. Like after he tagged in Butch, this is where they grabbed on both of his hands and grabbed his fingers and his arm and bent both his two arms and two fingers, or four fingers, I should say, two from one arm and two from the other, and then made him scream in agony pain, like agony, but silent, I should say, because he did the most silent scream that I have ever heard from a professional wrestler. This is where he rolled out of the ring because he was absolutely done for. This is where Wolfgang tried to go for a double clothesline right onto both Tyler Bate and Butch, but they ducked. This is where they did the stop sign hand maneuver, and then they hit him with a double right hand, or Butch with a left hand, and Tyler Bate with the right hand. Like boom, did the stop sign, like boom, and then this is where, like with the bop and bang, this is where he rolls out of the ring. This is where Joe Coffey tried to regroup them and talk this over in a group huddle, saying we gotta find a way to. We gotta find a way to into this match and defeat both Butch and Tyler Bate, which that's easy said than done. And then this is where they're standing up tall. Well, let's get to the point towards the end of the match. This is where back in the ring, Mark Coffey, Tyler Bate tried to hit them with the what's called bomb, the Tyler driver, but he flipped Tyler Bate over. This is where he landed on his feet, tried to go for a rimbound lariat right onto him, which he successfully did. Made him did a 180 right on into 5 feet in the air. This is where he tags in Butch. This is where he hits a diving crossbody right on the outside on Wolfgang. This is where Butch gets in the ring. This is where he hits a stomp right into both of his 10 fingers right through the canvas. This is where he hits a swinging kick, look like the yes kick that he's been doing for the past 5 years in NXT. When he did on his first one in NXT. This is where he tags in. This is where Butch and Tyler Bate hits a. Be careful, Trey. But anyway, this is where Tyler Bate and Butch hit the most amazing double team finishing move I've ever seen from two individuals before in all of sports entertainment and professional wrestling. Because they hit a double underhook, double team bitter end Tyler driver combo move for the 1, 2, 3, and I believe. I'm not sure if they ended their they may have won this match, but I'm sure they ended their feud with the Gallus boys because this is where Joe Coffey came in and started attacking. Marco, okay, I'll put that on for you. But yeah, this is where Joe Coffey started being a sore loser, but he came in and started attacking both Butch and Tyler Bate, started nailing fists right into their heads and then this is where his brother Mark Coffey and their boy Wolfgang start stomping onto both Bate and Butch. And the numbers game was looking bad for the British Strong Style. Like, too bad they don't have Trent Seven like they used to have like a few years ago. This is where 1 second. Trey, you gotta pay attention where you're stepping, but here you go. Trey, you gotta wait some. Where's the power cord to the Pittsburgh? Well, it's just over here not that long ago. Where's the... No, that's the controller cord. I agree on that. Like, that was pure genius just to have Trey. I think that was pure. That was definitely pure genius for Paul Heyman to say Braun Breaker, to be on Braun Breaker's corner, just to continue the feud with the Bloodline and John Cena, and now LA Knight too. But next Tuesday it's gonna be very interesting because this is the first time. This is the first time that John Cena's been on NXT on a weekly televised cable channel, with NXT being on a weekly televised cable channel, and yeah, I totally agree on that, Matt Troll. Metros Keto in wrestling. I hope I pronounced that right, by the way. But it's okay if I call you Matt for short. You let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, back to my review. This is where Rich Holland came in and started fighting and even the odds. Like I was like, luckily Butch have him for backup, like in case if the Gallows boys try to be in a disadvantage, like in a slick disadvantage. If they have a slick disadvantage for, sorry, my apologies. For my disadvantage, for the disadvantaged moment, like Rich Holland fought them off, and it looks like we're gonna have a 6-man tag team match at next week's NXT show, or maybe even 2 weeks, or wherever they're gonna have the match. What y'all thought about this match in general, and Rich Holland coming for the save? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, like you said, Matt Tros Keto in wrestling, yeah. He wants to be in Paul. He wants Braun Breaker in his corner, which I would say this is very interesting with John Cena having Melo in his corner. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about that more as soon as at the end of this video. But yeah, let's move on to the next. But yeah, just let me know in the comments, Matt, if you want me to call you Matt. Or Matt in wrestling, I should just call you, like, just for a cool wrestling nickname. But yeah, Rich Holland hit the punches and a headbutt and a rugby shoulder tackle right onto Joe Coffey, and this is where they had him send him packing. This is where we have Lyra Valkyria doing push-ups, like getting ready for her match this show. This is where we have Ilya Dragunov getting ready to get into the ring to watch. Talk about his latest win for the NXT championship. And then this is where Ilya Dragunov said, and this is where he was a warm welcoming to the crowd, saying, and he was like, "You can welcome me as the Czar, and you can welcome me as on and on, as the Zeke boy, especially as your new NXT women's." I'm thinking back with as your new NXT champion, the men's championship, of course. This is where Ilya was like, at No Mercy, Carmelo Hayes, like, he brought that fight like he promised me. The long fight that he was. And this is where the fans start being such hypocrites, because they start chanting Melo hits. Like, you really have to say that? Like, yeah, I know some of y'all are Ilya fans, but did you really have to say Melo missed? Like, that's kind of a sign of disrespect to the former NXT champion. Like, but that doesn't mean he really that doesn't mean he actually missed. Like, and the only thing that was a miss was a mistake of miscommunications. That's about it. Like, saying there's a big difference. There's a difference, of course. Like, but anyway, this is where Ilya Dragunov said, and again and again and again. So today I'm barely even able to stand, but I'm standing right now. Even in pain, I still stand in front of you as your champion, because I promised I will have the audacity, and I promise putting the next level on any human, no level of energy. And he's like I will turn this championship reign into a symbol of a incomparable passion. And I will protect this from the promise with my life. And then he said, "My long live," and this is what he said, the catchphrase. He said, "Long live the Tsar." And this is where Trick came in. And this is where he had the biggest the second biggest standing ovation with the fans chanting pull that trick, that's what it's called. And this is when Booker T was continuing and this was fans like, pull that trick. And let me tell you, this is not going to be the first time, let alone be the last time. That this won't be the first, and sure as hell wouldn't be the last time we're going to hear this catchphrase and this chant from the NXT North American champion. This is where Trick Williams was like, he was like, yeah, I like it when they start continuously saying pull that trick, even though his music stopped. When he asked to cut the music, he was like, okay, cut the chants and the music. He's like, just cut it down. First thing I want straight to business to you, Delia. I want to congratulate you for winning the championship at No Mercy, beating my boy. As much as deserved, but I'm not out here that you won the champ. Because I'm out here because you won the championship. Because someone here wants to shot that championship. He's like, Trick Williams standing here as your new NXT North American Championship. And then he said, and then this is where Trick also states, let's see right here. He's like, I'm on the level, and then I want to thank you for our match back a couple months ago. Take me to the level that changed my life for the better, and I'm on the level of your new NXT North American champion. You as your new North American champion, and I'm a fan favorite, and I appreciate that from you, Ilya. And now Trick Williams have gold now, thanks to you, and because of it. And he said, "You best believe, I'm going way more longer than I'm going to go way more longer than here, my dog." And he's like, and this is where Ilya Dragunov's like, okay, Trick, I'm gonna stop you right there, and I'm proud of you, man. And he's like, and at No Mercy. You really did pull that trick. And he's like, yeah. And this is where he gave him a handshake. He's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, my dog. Yeah, you see, you already know. And this is where Carmelo Hayes came out, and this is where he's like, hold on, Trick. And am I slipping, or did that just Ilya? What's going on here, Trick? Come on, bro. Look, you want, and he's like, Ilya, I appreciate that kind words that you talking about to my boys. You fulfill your destiny, and you exactly did that. He's like, but Trick, he's like, what are you thinking, Ilya, man? He's like, I've been telling you that you're championship material. I've been telling you that there's no doubt that you're a champion inside you, bro. Forget that. I'm proud of you. And his defense like, yeah. And this is where, and he's like, you and I, for the past 2 years, we're in front of all these people. Remember that? And he's like, I tell you that for a reason. When we're on our way to our journey of success. And he's like, winning that championship is absolutely amazing. And that's one thing. But defending it is a completely different level. And this is where Trick Williams does not understand what exactly where he's coming from. He was like, wait. Let me try to understand you, dog. You said, I'm not ready to defeat. He was like, you think I'm not ready to defeat Dom again, dog? And this is where Ilya Dragunov was like, yeah, what did you mean? And it's when the fans are like, oh, and then Carmelo Hayes was like, no, that's not what I mean by. And then this is where Ilya Dragunov was like, actually, I don't care at this point. And Now, I care about it's none of the reason I don't care is because none of my business, because as far as I can see, this has been a conversation between the two of you, or not two. Let me phrase that. My apologies. As far as I'm concerned, it is this is the that's a conversation between these are looking back and forth at himself and Trick. He's like of champions, which you only used to be champion. And this is where Melo was like, yeah, I guess you're right. Like, you got me right there. And this is where fans start continuing to disrespect Melo, saying, Melo missed. Melo missed. Like, can you be hypocritical in your own times, like, and not humiliate the guy just because he lost one match? And that's to the guy he told Ilya Dragunov that he can and he don't miss. Like, well, like, he didn't miss when he hit the move. It was just that he overcome that shot that was nothing but net. And then that's how he became the new NXT champion in the first place. But anyways, that's where Ilya Dragunov's like, we're done. Like, he's like if you want a shot at my newly won NXT championship, like, do it after you figure this out between you and Trick. And then this is where he steps back. And this is where Trick was trying to correct, what's his name, Ilya Dragunov. He was like, yo, Dragunov, like, Dragunov, cut that out. Like, yeah, he's like, yo, check it out, Melo. If you want to rematch against Dragunov, I respect that. I'm saying, like, I feel I'm ready for the get to the big leagues now of being being on the top is the face that runs that is the face of this brand in NXT. And this is where he's like, look, Trick, like, there's no denying that you're not championship material. But I'm trying to tell you, if you're trying to follow my footsteps when I did that championship, you need to focus on Dom. And then speak of the devil, this is where Dom comes out. And he was like, now, you really should listen to your friend Melo there. Like, and that's when fans start booing because they don't have none of this. But that's like the number one thing I agree with him, other than disagreeing with them saying Melo missed. But this is where Dom was like, keeping it to two completely different things when it comes to winning it as the challenger and then defending it is a totally different ball game. And this is when the fans start booing, even though he's still talking. He's like, especially when I'm coming forward and becoming two-time North American champion. And this is where Trick was like, hey, hold on. I love that yesterday, Dom. Like, I have one question for you, dog. Like, are you always taking orders for your mommy? And this is where everybody started cracking up like, oh. And this is when Dom was like, don't worry about my mommy say. Dirty Dom is, oh, man. And this Trick is like, yeah, Dad, that's right there. That's your problem. You're talking about what mommy say. And mommy say this, mommy say that. Like, mommy say, mommy say I should walk on the side, walk aside. And then, and he said that mommy said Trick Williams is going to whoop that ass tonight. And I was like, wow, you starting to sound like a dreadlock, like a brownish skin dreadlock version of The Rock, like for cutting that line, saying that alone. And I was like, man, like if they're gonna have him retain that championship. But anyways, this is where Dominic was like, I promised my mommy Rhea, and this is where fans like. And this is when the fans start not having none of it. This was like, they're like, boo, start booing the crap out of it more than they did with Roman Reigns, more than they did with Roman Reigns when he won the 2015 Royal Rumble. It was like, pull that trick to Trick Williams. This is where he's like, I promise Mommy, I'm going to bring home the gold to her and the rest of the Judgment Day. And this is where Carmelo said, like, no, dog, that's not gonna happen, y'all. Like, look, Trick, like, You gotta watch out for this guy, man. And you can't be alone, man. The Judgment Day, and they want to be starting something. I want you to know something. They just want to let you know something that I got your back. And tonight, I'm going all time. I'll be in your corner, Trick. And this is where Dominic Mysterio's like, "Hey, Trick, like this means that you're still behind the shadow of Carmelo Hayes." This is when the fans are booing more louder than they did before. With him saying, and then, but I forgot to also state that he said, "Yeah, you're sitting there holding that championship at 6'4", 240 pounds, and you're still behind the shadows of Melo." And this is where Trick Williams was very pissed off. Like, you look like he was about to run down into the ramp and start absolutely beating the snot and the shib right out of the dirty condom. This is where Melo was like, don't listen to him. He's trying to get into your head so he can try to sabotage you of winning back that championship. Don't listen to him. Like, just focus on you and your match. And this is where Trick Williams was like. Trick Williams was like, you know what? I'm gonna show this little boy that I'm not behind the shadows of you, Melo, bro. And to do that, I'm gonna do this all alone. Like, I'm gonna decline your offer of you standing in ringside with me. And he was like. And I was like, maybe that was the biggest rookie mistake that Trick Williams ever did. And if you guys asking me why did I say that, then you're gonna have to watch it to the very end on what do I exactly mean by this. But anyways, this is where they showed a hype. They showed a hype video, hyping up the triple threat women's championship match with Indy Hartwell winning the championship with the help of Dexter Lumis, carrying her up right into the ladder and retrieved the NXT Women's Gold. This is where they also showed a couple weeks later that she had to relinquish it due to her injuries and her being called up to Raw. But this is where we not a couple weeks later, a month later, but let's move on to the next slide. This is going to be the NXT Women's Championship match, which we're going to talk about right now. I'll say this was probably like the second match of the night that I can think of right now that was very entertaining to watch, because this is where they were going at it, going in a three-way fashion, but it was first it was Lyra Valkyria and Roxanne Perez going after Indy Hartwell first and trying to take her down, he had a double move right on both of the women. But let's move on. We're going to talk about with Lyra Valkyria in the ring fighting with Indy Hartwell. This is where she started hitting forearms right onto the Indy Hartwell. This is where Indy Hartwell threw a forearm right back to her. This is where Lyra Valkyria did some right elbow. This is where Becky Lynch was was sitting with Vic Joseph and Booker T in commentary with her NXT women's strap around her waist. And then this is where Vic Joseph even asked Becky Lynch that Booker T. Vic Joseph told Becky Lynch that Booker T has a question for the reigning NXT. This is where Booker T's like she was like, you stepped up face to face with Lyra Valkyria, and then did you feel any jealousy or animosity trying to stir up the pot, try to be more excited for a big win a big fight and a big brawl and a big hatred with both women, like to try to satisfy his hunger of fights, like of rivals fighting each other to excite this hunger of being even more excited excited than a homeless man in a hurricane. Which I should not drag that out for saying that, but this is where Becky Lynch responded like, "This was I don't think it's jealousy. Like I don't think it's none of animosity or whatever. Like whatever you're trying to assume that who you think that I have against the young Irish women's superstar." But anyway, this is where Indy Hartwell Irish whips Lyra Valkyria before she could do a running attack move right into the corner. This is where we see a crossbody right onto from Roxanne Perez. And the picture was like, it's like a fire struck. She was like, but there was a fire struck into her interruption standing face to face to me. And this is where Booker T started like, being a quarter excited than a homeless man in a hurricane. And then this is where Roxanne Perez hit a missile dropkick right onto Valkyria. This is where she went. This is where it hits the uppercut. This is where she hits an uppercut back and forth to both women onto the top left corner and where Lyra Valkyria was, and then in the bottom right corner of where Indy Hartwell was. This is where Lyra Valkyria tried to go for a striking elbow right into Roxanne, but she missed and she only hit Indy Hartwell instead. This is where Roxanne Perez started hitting a forearm right onto Lyra Valkyria. This is where she twisted her arm. She hit a side Russian leg sweep. This is where she goes for a pinfall for a 1 and a 2. Kicked out at 2.999, which was so close. Even though that wasn't per se her finishing move. But this is where Roxanne Perez go for a right hand right onto Indy Hartwell. Started hitting her right in the face like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8. And this is where Indy Hartwell tried to go for a powerbomb, but she hurricane Rana's Indy Hartwell. This is where Roxanne Perez hits a wheelbarrow facebuster right onto the former NXT Women's Champion, the other former NXT Women's Champion, I should say, which is Indy Hartwell. This is where she tried to go for a pin, but she only got 1. She only got 2, but she kicked out at 2.1 seconds. And then this is where Roxanne Perez started putting her in the sleeper right onto her head, started squeezing her right into her head. This is where she had her legs wrapped around, squeezing like if she was some kind of a hungry python, like a young hungry female python trying to feast on a gigantic female lioness. This is where Indy Hartwell got her up off her feet. This is where she landed her back first right onto Tina the turnbuckle. This is where she tried to hit a move right off the Tina the turnbuckle area. This is where Roxanne Perez countered with an elbow. This is where she went up right into the mid ropes. She tried to go for a senton, which turned into a Luthez press. This is where Roxanne Perez rolled out for her. This is where she hits a striking right hand. This is where she runs right into the ropes. This is where she ducks. This is where Indy Hartwell tried to close on her. She dodged her lariat. This is where Roxanne Perez goes for a. That's where she runs up and hits a flying head scissor, trying to go for a side Russian leg sweep, but she got intercepted by Lyra Valkyria with a double missile dropkick right on both of her and Hartwell. This is where Lyra Valkyria said, "I'm coming after you, Becky." And I said, that may be the case. This is where Roxanne Perez. This is where Lyra Valkyria started hitting roundhouse kicks, striking roundhouse kicks like if she was Bryan Danielson or the former Daniel Bryan in WWE, looking like the yes kicks, like back and forth to both women in the process on striking both Roxanne and Indy. This is where she's doing it like 5 times in a row. This is when fans start chanting yes, because it kind of reminded them of the former leader of the yes movement. And then this is where she was kicking so good. This is where Booker T called it the educated feet, like he always does with every athletic wrestler that always has a very successful athleticism with their kicks. But anyways, this is where she hits a roundhouse kick right into the midsection. This is where she hits a backhand. This is where she hits it with a knee strike. This is where she tried to This is where she tried to go for a boot right to Roxanne Perez. She caught her leg. She swings it right to the head of Indy Hartwell, which she made her go cuckoo. This is where Roxanne Perez tried to go for a clothesline. This is where Lyra Valkyria caught her with a step up into Giri. And it's the same with Indy Hartwell when she rolled out of the ring. She got hit so hard like that she fell right to the ground, rolling like a human female spring roll. This is where Lyra Valkyria hits a hip suplex right onto Roxanne Perez, but only got a kick out at 2.8 seconds by Roxanne Perez. This is where Lyra Valkyria gets back up. This is where she drags her right into the other side of the ring. This is where Lyra Valkyria goes right up on the top rope. This is where she tried to go for the flying warrior splash maneuver. This is where Indy Hartwell grabbed onto her leg and hit her. This is where she tried to grab onto her leg. This is where Lyra Valkyria tried to kick her off. She started kicking her like about 5 times in a row. Started hitting her with a right hand. And started elbowing and single axe handling the former NXT Women's Champion Indy Hartwell. This is where she finally gets her off by kicking her right into the face. This is where Roxanne Perez caught her right back. This is where she hits her with a right hand. This is where she started slapping her right to the jaw. This is where she slapped her again right into across the side of her face. This is where she goes right up to the top rope. Try to go for a top rope moonsault majig. This is where Indy Hartwell try to come in. This is where she hits her with the running reverse snapmare lariat. Like, even though she saw her coming, but this is where she hits it on her anyway. This is where she goes for a pin maneuver. This is where she tried to go for 1 and go for 2, but the referee tried to go for 3, but she kicks out soon before the 3 count was even applied. The count. This is where Lyra Valkyria started hitting her with a right hand. This is where she run up right on her. This is where she catches her, try to go for a power slam or a sidewalk slam. Or no, not sidewalk or power slam. This was a spine buster. This is where Lyra Valkyria counters the spine buster, hits her with a sunset flip roll up, which is known as the most devastating move in all sports entertainment, but she kicks out of that. This is where Indy Hartwell hits her with a big boot. This is where she tried to finish off Roxanne Perez. Right after she boots Valkyria out of the ring. This is where she tried to ram her shoulder right onto Roxanne Perez, right into her mid, but she jumped right on the mid rope and caught her around her waist. This is right from behind. She hits her with the code red and landed her back first right into the ring, and she would have won this with a 1-2-3. But this is where what's her name? Kiana James got involved, pulls her out of the ring. This is where she started hitting her with a, and this is where she hits her with a right forearm right in her face. I was like, come on, Kiana James, like we're gonna cost her the match for what? Like, what reason why you have a reason why to cost her the match? This is where Becky Lynch hits her with a big boot. I was like, yeah, there you go, Becky. Like, get justice for Roxanne, even though that's not enough justice because she wants justice on her own hands probably by challenging her in a match, whether it be next week or whenever. Like, but this is where Lyra Valkyria took advantage. She hits her flying hawk splash right onto Indy Hartwell, and she got the 1-2-3. And like on my prediction that Lyra Valkyria is going to be the next number 1 contender for the NXT Women's Championship. This is where Becky Lynch came in and congratulated Lyra Valkyria, but she showed off her belt like she's still going to be the NXT Women's Championship. On night 1 at NXT's at the main event of night 1's NXT's not Great American Bash, the Halloween Havoc for the Halloween special episode of NXT. This is where Tegan Knox said, like, don't forget about me. Like, I still have my opportunity against you on Raw whenever you recover. And then what do you think? Like, do you think that Tegan Nox can pull off an upset and it'll be Lyra Valkyria taking on Tegan Nox, or do you think it's gonna be an Irish, two ever Irish women fighting for the NXT Women's Championship in the main event of an NXT show? Or do you think, or what do you think? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. I would love to see that because this would be so interesting and entertaining and so inspiring for the wrestler, for the young wrestler Lyra Valkyria. And I hope she does achieve that dream. I'm not sure about what I can say about her being NXT Women's Champion. I'm not sure if it's a guarantee that she will, but because she's going to stand up face to face with the man. But yeah, we're going to figure that out in the next few weeks. But we still have got some unfinished business that haven't even started yet between Nox and Becky Lynch. So we're going to see about that in the next upcoming couple of weeks. But yeah, let's move on to the next slide, which is this is where Carmelo Hayes was in the backstage, like bumping into Braun Breaker, saying was also sounding a hypocrite more than the fans was, because he's like, yo, Melo. I'm the only man. Dang it. Let's see right here. Let's see. Sorry if I'm taking so long. I'm trying to get my shorts thing. But yeah, he was being a massive squid head, and also he was being a hypocrite himself more than the fans was about saying Melo Myth. This was like, hey, how you tell? Like you, I'm the only one. Let's see right here. He's the only one in the entire field right now. That's what he said. That being the championship in this stage, and then. And I know I'm right, and also when you watch on Saturday at the NXT No Mercy pay-per-view, like I was mostly chanting for Ilya, and then the fans were also chanting for Ilya, and then then say no one wasn't chanting for Melo Don't Miss, like they weren't chanting him or none of that, I disagree with Ilya and all that, but I bet that it's all bothering you, and then it's making you feel upset and angry in the inside. And I could feel too that I am the greatest NXT champion of all time, and you, the first iteration of that rage at you gonna take that out on everyone? Just because you did that when he beat you for the NXT championship, that doesn't mean he should be doing the same with doing the same and following in your footsteps, Breaker. Like that's you. Like you're just the calm bulldog that just don't have no patience and anger, and you're just trying to stir the pot by trying to take that anger out on the guy that beat him for the NXT championship, and to the what's his name, even his own best friend, the Trick Williams, which I don't think that Mello would do that, even if he was in the program with a Trick, he wouldn't really take his anger out on him for losing the NXT championship onto the NXT championship with him losing the Ilya Dragunov. Like, he's not like you, like would you turn into the dark side, being meaner than evil, and he wouldn't. He sure as hell, Carmelo Hayes sure as hell wouldn't sandwich his opponent's head right through with two steel steps. But anyway, I know Carmelo's like to show everybody, including Trick. You leave my boy Trick out of this conversation, Braun. Like, and this is where Braun Breaker was like, we Trick out of it. Like, on Saturday when he lost, like, where was he? Like, was he waiting for you in the back to give you a big best friend hug and tell you that everything's gonna be all right? And he's like, yeah, like, that's why I thought so. Like, you have to find him somewhere because you find him somewhere because he was being the selfish one. Like, yeah, but like he was probably waiting for him to celebrate, for him being two respective the singles championships that they did it all by themselves, and not trying to use them use them to win matches, and trying to have them to be their guy that, what's that word, like, try to be the guy that helped them get the wins, like, even though they probably did that before when they were heels, but they their days is cheating is not no longer active at this time, so it's not best for him trying to. I don't think it's best to stir the pot like this to get into his head. But even though, like, he has some points about him losing the NXT championship, and you kind of have a grudge on that, but that doesn't mean he should do what that doesn't mean he should do what Breaker's doing, like, into a kayfabe perspective, of course. But this is where Mello was thinking about it, like, wait. He's like, now think about it. And this is where Mello was later interviewed, which I'm not sure if I should have talked about this now, but maybe I should get it over with because it's in my mind right now. He was like, this is where Mello was like, yeah, like, I'm not letting that get. I'm not listening to him, the same guy that attacked me right after, like, a couple days after I beat him at NXT Stand and Deliver, like, and then I talked to a guy, like, he said some, and I just got off the phone with the guy, with this guy that told me that I didn't want to hear, but at the same time what I needed to hear, and then that man is none other than John Cena, and then he told me, like, he's been down into this road before and lose championships, but he got himself back up. And that's how I'm wanting to be. And next week, I'm going to be facing Braun Breaker in a match with John Cena in my corner. I was like, really? What? And I was like, this is probably the number one shocker of the night, if not the second, because there is another shocker of a wrestler on the main roster that's on SmackDown that's going to make her, I should not describe it as a her, but the female wrestler from SmackDown that's going to make her return on NXT. Make sure you watch. Make sure y'all watch until the very end about more shocking surprises that came from tonight's NXT until the very end. But anyway, this is where they showed Blair Davenport getting attacked from behind by Gigi Doe and basically getting their butt whooped by the former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion after her celebration against Kalani Jordan. And then up next they have their one-on-one match. This is where we also had Kiana James in the backstage interview, which she. Let's see right here. That's what. This was she on the phone. She was like, like she was kind of rudely on the phone, like with somebody, like convincing somebody to do business with. This is where she was like, "Okay, what do you want? Well, what do you want me to do? Not what me to do. What do you want? What do you want to ask me? This is where, what's her name? This is where the backstage interviewer, Mackenzie Mitchell. That's what her name is. She was like, that's about. And she thinks like, like she was saying about Roxanne, why she attacked her. This is what she was well, like Roxanne Perez was like the golden kid that think that she gets every opportunity just because it's been handed to her and she didn't really earn much. And then at the same day, like I had to start from square one to get to be the recognizable star that I am today. And then Roxanne. And then she's like, Roxanne may be a former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion, but I'm also guess who's also a former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion, like I am. And then do you think that I'm gonna allow her to get another chance for the NXT Women's Championship? Like, absolutely not. Like, and she was like, look. And then she's like and everybody remembers that breakout tournament last year, and everybody remembers that Roxanne won it. And then in that tournament, and guess who was also in that tournament? It was me, like as well. And she also said, and it's like. And she was like if she wants, and she's gonna get a match against me, and you know how she's gonna try. How she's gonna get that opportunity, that chance in that match. And this is where Mackenzie Mitchell responded like, "How? If she wants a shot against me in a match, like then she's gonna have to go. She's gonna have to go past the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka, and then see if she's ready for Asuka and ready for me, Kiana James." I'm like, what? Like, I would expect anybody. I would expect a Charlotte Flair, a Becky Lynch, a Tegan Knox, a Natalya, even Bianca Belair of her time trying to be in the Triple Crown champion in her rights as the women's star in WWE. But Asuka, like, ain't that a bit too random? Like, wow. Like, did you really just lay the challenge onto Roxanne Perez with Asuka in order for her to face Kiana James? I was like, and Kiana James, like, why are you making you sound like if you are a former multi-time women's champion and a main eventer when you have yet to achieve those accomplishments in WWE? So, like, I don't get the point about this, but we're gonna see the returning Asuka, and we're gonna see John Cena making an appearance on NXT, the first time on a weekly televised cable channel. Like, with them being on a televised cable channel on a weekly basis, I should say. But anyway, this is where we got a backstage segment with Baron Corbin. Let's see right here. This is where Ilya Dragunov went face to face with Baron Corbin, and it's like, that's when he starts sarcastically congratulating Ilya Dragunov. This is where Ilya Dragunov was like, "Yo, what are you doing here?" And then this is where Corbin's like, "This is the champion's moment." And he's like, "Oh yeah, this is where he congratulates." He's like, "Don't." That's what he said. Don't screw the side plates too tight. And then I was like, Why? You think you're going to be the next NXT champion? Just because you might have beaten Braun Breaker this past Saturday, and you're starting to improve in WWE, even though you have to go back to the developmental territory just to get that achievement, doesn't mean you earn yourself a title shot just like that. And it sure as hell doesn't get you a title shot by using the old heel excuses routine onto getting a title shot like you did in the main roster. But anyway, this is where it's like I'm the only person that beaten you other than Melo ever since you've been on NXT. And also, in history, it's not going to go away where it's going to continue to continue not get and this repeat and this will repeat and this will repeat, and it's not going to go away. And this is where Ilya Dragunov's like, I beat Carmelo Hayes and went in history and beat him for the championship, which is the guy which is the same guy that beat you. And he's like, I was there, and I beat Braun Breaker, and I put him down. And the way I see is, nobody stands in my way for that championship. And I was like, yeah, here we go with the typical heel excuses trick routine that he'd been using when he was in the feud with Roman Reigns and Seth freaking Rollins when they were the Universal Championship back 4 and 5 years ago. And this is where Ilya Dragunov was like, well, you're strongly disagree. That's what he's like. I strongly disagree on that. This is where Baron Corbin's like, here, let's get some a little bit of advice. I'll take that title out of your hands. I'll put it up on my shoulder, shine up real nice. I put the name plates, and then change names possible while you still work here. This would steam the Mad Dragon, like, no pun intended on that, because he's like, I'll give him a title shot, and there'll be one that he will never ever forget. Well, they can't say shot. I'm not sure if that rule still count in WWE, but I still describe it as that, because describe it as that term, because that's what some wrestlers call a title shot, title match, a championship match, like whatever. What's the difference? Like, other than being a word or the different way to describe it. But anyway, this is where Ilya Dragunov is like, okay, like, I'm gonna show him why he's never been. I'm gonna continue being a reminder that why he's never been a heavyweight champion into this company. But this is where we have the Blair Davenport match against Gigi Dolan. But anyways, what do y'all think about Ilya Dragunov or Baron Corbin becoming the number one contender for Ilya Dragunov's NXT championship in his first reign? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. Would he deserve a shot at the championship and be the top heel main eventer, or you think he shouldn't even go onto that category, even though the NXT championship might be the best championship for him to go after, be the only heavyweight championship that he should go after. Because let's face it, like, at this point, he's not capable of being neither of the main roster championships, not even the mid-card championships in the main roster. Like, but speaking of Baron Corbin, once again, this is where Gigi Dolan took a page out of his playbook like he would usually do. He tagged and do a pre-match beatdown right onto Blair Davenport from behind before the match even started. And then she took it into the ringside area, even though there was still Blair Davenport's intro smoke into the ringside area. And then she started hitting her with right strikes and axe handles into her back and her head. And then this is where she starts striking right to the head. Most important, just start hitting the right hook right onto the midsection of Blair Davenport and tossed her right through into Simba the Steel Steps. This is where, and Barry Barricade, which which I'm not sure if Barry Barricade's still no longer there. Maybe I should stop calling it Barry Barricade, but start calling it Larry Barricade, which that's not the same. I should perhaps call it another B name, like I don't know, like I'm maybe Blurry Barricade. No, that's not. That wouldn't be the same as Barry. Which I'm gonna really miss Barry, and I want to send once again. I want to send my condolences to him because Simon did his service of Barry Barricade made a full video of it with AEW wrestlers with Nyla Rose and All Ego Ethan Page and Matt Menard and them of sending their condolences. Well, more like insults to with Matt Menard sending insults while Ethan Page send the most comedic condolence, and then Nyla Rose send an overreaction message to Barry Barricade, but anyway, back to the match. Where Blair Davenport trying to clothesline Gigi Dolan. She ducks and hits a forearm right into the ropes. This is where she put her right into the middle, and then the top of the back of the top rope. Starts squeezing her, starts stretching her, going back and forth. This is where the referee counted to 3, and she stopped with the DQ 5-second warning. This is where she hits the drop kick right into the back of Blair Davenport, which she started getting twisted right into between the ropes. This is where she hits the senton right off the. This is where she hit the senton right off onto hit the senton right off the Blair Davenport. This is where Blair Davenport tried to crawl right onto her. Birdie, what did you do with that balloon? This is where she tried to splash right onto Davenport. This is where Davenport tried to go for insecurity, but she caught her leg and she tried to slingshot her right onto the top of Tina the turnbuckle, which she easily got on without any damages whatsoever. This is where she tried to go for a crossbody right onto the top rope, but she kicks her right to the head. This is where she hit the double foot stomp right onto Gigi. This is where right onto the spine of Gigi. Let me rephrase that. This is where she go for a run. This is where she tried to go for a pin, but she only got a 2 even count, I should say. This is where she knees her right into the back. This is where she started kicking and knee striking Gigi's back and started swing kicking her back into the process. This is where she tried to grab onto her head. This is where she headbutted her right to the head. This is where she tried to go for a DDT or a suplex, but before she can do anything, this is where Blair Davenport this is where she intercepts and twists her arm and slam her right into the canvas. This is where she hits her with a double stomp once again, but this only got her a 2 count. This is where she tried to go for a lower running straight drop kick, but Gigi don't move out of the way. This is where she started crushing forearming her right to her back. This is where Blair Davenport counter hits a right hand right into her face. This is where Gigi don't respond back and hit her right back in her face. This is where Blair Davenport tried to go for a right hand to her jaw. This is where she hits the forearm right into Blair Davenport's jaw and nose. This is where she hits a right strike kick right onto her midsection to Gigi. This is where she tried to go for another, but Gigi caught her leg. She threw her with a dragon screw. This is where she clotheslined her right outside the ring. This is where she moved. This is where she fell right on the outside and landed face first right into Alan the announce table. This is where Gigi don't try to run and attack her. This is where she landed face first right into Alan the announce table. This is when Blair Davenport didn't even care that she didn't care about anything about winning this match because she grabbed on the steel chair. She nearly got herself disqualified. I was like, is she allowed to do this? Like, and I'm guessing that I take that as a no. Like, I'm guessing that's a no because the referee's like, "What are you doing? Like, this is not a no squad." And even Vic Joseph like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" Like, she going to easily get disqualified, but luckily for her, like she missed because Gigi Dolan moved out of the way. This is where she hits a spinning roundhouse kick right into the head. This is where she Irish whips Blair Davenport back in the ring. This is where she goes right. Trey, why you're pushing down to the? This is where she hit the clothesline right onto the Blair Davenport. She repeatedly do so like 3 times in a row, or maybe 2. She hit the twisting arm and slams her like a slow lariat STO. This is where she took the top heel or top toe part of her foot and hit it back first right into Blair Davenport. Trey, can you please do not do that? But anyway, this is where Gigi Dolan goes for a pin. But the referee hit 1. The referee count 2, but he kicked out right after 2. At a 2.1 count, I suppose. This is where Gigi Dolan get back in the game and trying to hit the steel chair. This is when the referee was like, wait, whoa, what are you doing? Because Gigi Dolan was thinking what Blair Davenport was exactly doing. And that's what no double knee stomp these. No, you're gonna break them. Betray you, no. Trey, you please do not do that ever again. No. Okay. Move these out of the way. That's Uncle SNA's game. Oh, bother. But anyway, this is where she don't care about winning the match. She just want to destroy and annihilate Blair Davenport. This is where the referee was like, wait, like don't before she had a chance to swing. This is where Blair Davenport easily capitalized. This is where she hit the form to the back. No, Trey. No, Trey. Uncle SNA got to get this done. Fine. One. Uncle SNA is not going to play hide and seek with his own video game. You're going to finish redoing this NXT tonight. I don't understand what you're doing with Uncle SNA's video game anyways. It's not even alive, so what's the point of playing hide and seek if it's not even alive? Anyways, back to the match with Gigi Dolan and Blair Davenport. This is where I go for a steel chair attack again. She didn't none of them even care. I was like, what's the point of making this a one-on-one match if you're gonna be trying to use chairs involved into this battle? And then luckily for Gigi Dolan, that was a perfect distraction there to take. That's a Trey. You can't be playing. Hey, what are you doing? Trey, you stop it. No. No, not in front of the camera. Trey, you stop it. Trey, you. Oh, bother. But anyway, this is where Gigi Dolan took advantage, hit the most devastating move in all sports entertainment, surprisable. I was like, if you're going to keep trying to use chairs involved, you might as well turn this into some kind of a no disqualification street fight match. Whether it be Extreme Rules or No Holds Barred, False Count Anywhere, whatever match, or even a last woman standing match. Because they were trying to hit each other so badly with that steel chair, but luckily the referee prevented them to do so. Atreyu, not now. But anyway. But yeah, what do you thought about this match? Y'all let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, up next we got in the next segment we got. This is where we have a match with Trey, get down from there. But anyways, this is where we got the first round of the tournament, what's her name doing the most of the offense into the match. What's her name? I should say Izzy Dame taking Izzy Dame taking on the former Dana Brooke protege Kehlani Jordan, I believe her name is, which I would say Izzy, which I believe Izzy Dame was doing mostly the offense into the match, and she could be the next women's powerhouse in the company because on one spot with Kehlani Jordan trying to do a rebound, countering a rebound sliding arm drag. This is where she goes for a running missile drop kick right onto the Izzy Dame, and then hitting double drop kicks as well. Trey, why are you doing that for? And then she also tried to hit a top rope maneuver. This is where I'm doing. I'm wrong. This is where this is where she hits sidewalk slams. Hits sidewalk slams and power slams and even body slams and suplexes and other maneuvers. This is where Kehlani Jordan started hitting comeback moves such as. Then what's that? Arm drags and side kicks, and then hitting crossbody, but he kicks out. This is what she's trying to find ways to come back and win this match and defeat what's her name to Dame. This is where she tried to. This is where she tried to hit one maneuver when she had her arms and have Dame's arms up, and then she had her own leg right onto her, like MVP's old finishing move, the Playmaker, and Randy Orton's old signature move, the Oza. This is where Izzy Dame hits a boot right to the face. This is what I thought. This is Georgia. Don't show this, yeah. But anyway, this is where it's boot right into the face. This is where she tried to go for a pin to Jordan. This is where she only gets a two even count. This is where.
So, what will happen if we let the ice cap melt?
This is where she tried to go for an Irish whip corner. And this is where she goes for. This is where she tried to go for another sidewalk slam like at the beginning of the match. This is where she tried to run up and try to attack. This is where she tried to go for a running attack to the turnbuckle. This is where she slides out of the way like someone like Christian or Kofi would do. This is where she hits a springboard double stomp right into the chest of Izzy Dame. This is where she goes for a double dip moonsault right off the a double dip split moonsault right off the top rope. Hits her right onto the canvas. This is where she got the 1, 2, 3. I was like, wow, she literally did it. And I guess Big Joseph isn't lying when she said she's the fan favorite. And I think if she wins this match, she's going all the way. No matter who's in her, who's in front of her into a one-on-one match. She can beat someone dominant just like Izzy Dame here. Then who knows who she who she can eliminate into this tournament. And do you think that she got it all the way, or do you think that she's gonna lose like into the next round, like into the semifinals or the finals? Y'all let me know in the comments down below. And if you think she does win, do you think that she's gonna cash her opportunity in onto Becky Lynch or Lyra Valkyria, or do you think she's gonna do it to a top heel? Do it on the top heel that's the women's championship, or do you think she's gonna turn heel either woman, like either Lyra Valkyria or Becky Lynch, or do you think Lyra Valkyria is gonna turn heel and dethrone Becky Lynch, and she's gonna be in a program with Kalani Jordan? I'm gonna let y'all decide in the comments. Let's move on. We got a segment with Andre Chase. Well, first they showed a post on Twitter, which was they also showed a post on Twitter was with Thea Hale posting photos of her in her new outfit when she went on a shopping spree with JC Jane. No, don't throw it. No, Trey. You don't want to break this, do you? But anyways, this is where Thea Hale was in photos of her in her new outfit where she was in shopping spree with JCJ, and then she even got response with the likes of Electra Lopez saying, "One shopping spree does not make you a grown ass woman." When she put on the caption saying she's a grown ass woman now, and then she was like, just try again. This is where JC Jane was like, relax, Jenny, from the corner. Like, you should be worried about your meat ticket, not Thea. And I was like, this is the most goofiest wrestling of the night. Like, at least the second goofiest wrestling of the night. I was like, dang, like she just roasted her, calling her Jenny from the corner. Like, I was like, and this is what had me think, like, is he referring to that TikToker Jennifer Hamilton with her husband Ryan Hamilton just because she's Latina? But anyways, like that. But that's another story for another day. Like we'll probably talk about that more later. But this is where we have the segment with Andre Chase. This is where we have the segment with Andre Chase and with Duke Hudson showing photos of Thea Hale in their post on Twitter, and then he was like, "You want to see this? New latest post from Thea?" This is where Andre Chase was declining the offer, saying, "I do not want to see that. Like, it's only enough I see her like that here at the Capitol Wrestling Center. Like, this is where he's like, I don't like none of that at all." And this is where he started showing up, and then this is where it's like I don't like none of these at all. That's what Andre Chase was telling Duke Hudson. This is where Thea Hale was getting ready for her tag team match with JC Jane. Started doing jumping jacks in the process while she got bumped. And he was like, and this is where Andre Chase was like, "Thea, I don't mean to interrupt, but I thought I might come out into the match and sit ringside and support you into your match teaming with JC Jane." And this is where Thea Hale's like, "I do not at ringside, like, and then this is where Thea Hale's like, "You really want me to be ringside for my match?" And this is where Duke Hudson was like, "You don't think this is a problem, do you?" And this is where Thea Hale was looking like, I was like, "You think this is a chat? This is a chat room?" Like, and then this is where Duke Hudson tried to deny the claim that this is the chat room. Like, I don't think this is the chat room, bro. This where, and then this is where Andre Chase is like no, like it's not a chat room. He's like, not chat room. He's like, no, like This is what Andre Chase was. Yeah, this is what Andre Chase was like I'm just trying to hear the support and and show you that I am not gonna interfere in none of your matches ever again. Like this is where Drew's like, and this is where Thea Hill's like, I don't think so. I mean, this is where JC Jane was like, actually, well, maybe you should invite them in your match. And then ringside, Chase, you supporting us, that could be. This would be a great deal, actually, Thea. You should accept this. And then this is where Thea was like, she was like, all right, you kind of convinced me, you kind of convinced me there, JC. And then this is where JC was like putting her hand out and have Andre and Duke and Thea, the joiners, like, I chase you on three. Like 1, 2, 3, chase you. And I was like, I'm not sure if this is a face turn for JC Jane or just some kind of manipulating plan for just to get some out of her, the young star. Like, I don't know what it is that she's probably trying to manipulate because she's trying to do it because she did it in the most, because she invited Andre Chase and Duke Hudson in the most maniacal way, like in the most sneaky and maniacally unusual way, I should describe it. This is where and then this is where Duke Hudson said, "You thought that wasn't a problem? Like did you expect that? Did you expect that? Like." And this is where what's his name? Duke Hudson. That's what his name. Duke Hudson teased him, saying like, "What did you expected that?" And he's like, "Oh, you need to shut up." I was like, "Don't tell me there's some kind of shenanigans going on between both JC and Andre Chase. This could have an Andre Chase heel turn onto Thea, and then we can do some kind of a mixed tag team with between Thea and Duke Hudson against Andre Chase and JC Jane in some kind of a mixed tag team feud. What do y'all think about this matter? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. But this is where we have a tag team match with Thea Hale and JC Jane taking on Electro Lopez and her new protege Lola Vice, which we're going to talk about here right now. We got This is where Lola Vice. This is where Lola Vice was in the ring with Thea Hale, and then this is where she brought what's her name to the ground, Thea Hale. This is where she sneakily did some heel shenanigans, and she struck JC Jane like she was some kind of a hot face playing baby face. This is where JC Jane try to get in the ring and try to get some revenge onto Lola Vice because she just completely and simply assaulted her. And this is where she Irish whips Thea Hale right into the corner in heel fashion. This is where she goes for a right hand and left, and then this is where at one hand when the referee was still distracted with JC Jane, Electro Lopez was holding on to Thea Hale and for Lola Vice to get the advantage to start punching and kicking, and so she could have that advantage. This is where she tried to go for a splash right onto Thea Hale, but Thea Hale moved right out of the way, right on time. This is where she started crawling right to JC Jane so she could get her retribution onto Lola Vice. But this is where Lola Vice tried to grab onto her leg, but she was still hanging on. This is where she tried to hang on to her. This is where she pushed her with both of her feet right on, and finally got Lola Vice right off of her. This is where she finally tags in JC Jane. This is where JC Jane hit the clothesline to both. This is where she hit the clothesline right to Lola Vice, finally getting her retribution. This is where she hit the right hand right onto Electro Lopez. This is where he hit the roundhouse kick right into her midsection, hit a forearm, and then hit the step up into the gear right afterwards. This is where she started posing right onto in the ring. This is where she hits a running back attack right onto her. This is where she runs and hits a running swinging neck breaker right in the middle of the canvas. This is where she kicks out of the 2.5 in a 2.5 with aka 2.5 count. This is where we saw a right axe handle, a right single axe handle right to the back of Lola Vice. This is where she hits, try to go for a fire women's carry driver. This is where Lola Vice pushed her out of the way. She hits a spinning backhand. This is where she tried to tag in Elektra Lopez. This is where she finally did so. But when Elektra Lopez tried to come in and try to capitalize on JC Jane, she Irish whips him right into the corner. This is where she tried to spear her right into the exact bottom left corner of Tina Turner. But she moved right in the way, hitting her shoulder hard, but not too hard, probably like 30% hard. This is where she hits a discus right hand right into Elektra Lopez's jaw. This is where Thea Hale's like, yeah, tag me in, looking like her old hype self when she was enthusiastic of being with Chase U, but she's no longer wants to have any association with Andre Chase or anything to do with Chase U whatsoever, other than probably Duke Hudson, because he's probably like the coolest guy into the academy. This is where she tags in Thea Hale. This is where she finishes her off trying to go for the Kimura, or the most, which is her most dangerous move in all of NXT. When she bent that back and she made Elektra Lopez had no choice but to tap out, like a move that she's been using with every single woman in NXT, even on to JC Jane's former tag partner Gigi Dolan, and to the former women's champion herself, Tiffany Stratton. And then speaking of her, I haven't seen her at all in NXT today. Like, it looks like this could be a sign that they're going to take her off for a while until she finally makes her main roster debut. But y'all let me know about that theory into the comments down below, and what y'all's opinion on the matter with the status of Tiffany Stratton in WWE. But anyways, that's where they got the win. They celebrated with both women getting the coolest ovation, like with the tweener JC Jane and the tweener Thea Hale, because I don't think that's the. And this is where when what's his name was like. And this is where Duke Hudson was like, you knew we were going to win. Come on, like, admit it. And this is where Andre Chase was like, okay, you got me right there. Like I got to hand it. Like, she's getting more better than she ever was when she joined my academy in Chase U. Like, I'm going to let her live a little for now. Like, but this is up next. We got the NXT North American Championship rematch, which was Trick Williams taking on I should say, let me have a better introduction for this. Like, it was time for the main event of the evening, like what Gareth Morgan used to say on the ups and downs of NXT reviews. This is which was Trick Williams taking on it was Trick Williams, the new NXT North American champion, taking on Dominic Mysterio. And man, what the hell? Oh, sorry, my bad. That just came out of nowhere. But yeah. But anyway, this was Trick Williams. Like, this is when they start saying, like, pull the trick, or yeah, pull the trick on that, which was like the other time, which like I said before, and I'll say it again, this won't be the last time we'll be hearing pull the trick on Trick Williams. But if he had a successful title defense, well, you're gonna figure that out right now. And that's where Trick Williams was bringing in the fight in the beginning, and this is when Dominic Mysterio at first first was starting to be a coward because he started rolling out of the ring. Where every time when Trick Williams was having the offense, this is where he finally got him in the ring. This is where he slams him right into the ground. This is where he started hitting a headlock right on the hip. This is where when as soon as Dominic Mysterio got out of the hole, this is where both of his two teammates, the reigning, defending, undisputed tag team champions, Damian Priest and Finn Balor, came in to try to come in to support Dominic Mysterio, more like help him win back his championship, and also make this a disadvantaged situation for Trick. This is where Dominic Mysterio definitely had a huge grin on his face. This is where he hits a back suplex right on the Trick. This is when Dominic Mysterio thought he had the upper hand, like with Trick Williams, with him toying him and talking more trash onto the North American champion, the new one, the North American champion. This is where he hits the knee right to the side of his ribs. This is where he tried Irish whip him right to the right side of the corner. This is where he hits a spinning elbow maneuver when he runs to the corner. This is where he tried to pin, but he only got a 1 count and a 1 even count. I was like, yeah, like you think that was easily gonna get the win? That's easy for him to kick out of. And then that's obviously easy. You need to do way more than that. Like you should know that because I thought you were like the greatest North American champion, which I totally disagree with it. Like either way, like with whoever the greatest in the United States champion, I can name like 5 of them. But anyway, this is where he puts him in a headlock right onto Trick Williams. This is where Trick Williams starts screaming like I need to get out. Like I'm not giving in. This is what Trick Williams like it doesn't matter whether you have your Judgment Day boys or not. Like it looks like Judgment Day or not. Like I'm not gonna let you embarrass me of my first title defense. And this is where he flips out of it. This is where, in an amazing fashion, this is where Dom Mysterio puts him into the corner. This is which it hits him right in the other side with the top right corner of the turnbuckle. This is where he throws him on the other side. This is where Dominic Mysterio was put him right to the other corner. This is where he stomps on him. This is where he tried to get up out on the top rope to get ready to do the frog splash. Which I'm not sure he did a frog splash. I'll say he teased that. He hits a short, quick diving senton right back in the ring. He tried to go for a 1. He tried to go for a 2. This is where Trick Williams kicked out of it. This is where he's like, "Are you sure it was are you sure it wasn't a 3? It was a 2?" And then there's to the referee with his retarded self. This is where he knees the back of the neck of Trick Williams and started squeezing the ropes around his throat and trying to choke him out. This is where Rhea said, hey, where's your boy Mello at? Like, doesn't see much of Trick Mello game. This is what Rhea Ripley said when she was talking so much shit right on to Trick Williams. And then this is where Dom put him right into the ground, right into the corner. This is where he stomps him right into when he was springboarding himself right onto the bottom rope and stomping on Trick Williams back in the process. And then this is where he tried to hit the 3 amigos, which he got 1 amigo and he got 2 amigos. And then once he tried to go for the 3rd amigo, this is where he tried to do the mock. He started doing the mockery with the signature Latino Heat shimmy shake, like trying to be the next Eddie Guerrero. And I was like Dom, just because like 18 years ago Eddie Guerrero said that he's your son doesn't mean you start taking that is what he says. Like if he doesn't have DNA proof that he biologically your father, I wouldn't be claiming those. I wouldn't be claiming that terms and claiming that terms of him claiming that he's your real biological poppy. In kayfabe, of course. But anyway, this is where he tried to go for the third amigo, but Trick Williams rolled out of the way and hits a swinging neck breaker. Looks very perfectly put together, looking like he could have put him away with such a maneuver like that. But Trick Williams went more, and this is where he started throwing right hands. When Dominic was still trying to hit right hands, he counters and hit a right hand on his own, like. And this is where the fans were chanting like, pull the trick on to Trick Williams. This is where he hit. This is where he hit the clothesline. This is where he started hitting, bobbing and weaving like onto the Dirty Doms. This is where he started hitting the hooks and the nails and the cuts and etc. to the Dom. I was like, yeah, like this is why he said. This is why he always used that catchphrase. You have to gift the gab and the gift the gab and the gift the jab. Because he really do with those punches and those kick strikes and this finishing knee strike. Like, yeah, they call him they don't call him and Mello the Trick Mello game for nothing. Like, just because he's Mello's sidekick. Like, he showed that in this match. Like, when he hits him and he Irish whipped him right on the other side. He runs right in this corner and he hits a what's that kick? A thigh kick, like a back thigh super kick right into Dom's head. This is where he hits a flapjack, which landed him face and body first, front of his body first, right into the ring mat. This is where he tried to go for a swinging neck breaker, but Dominic ran out of the way. This is where he tried to go for a rebound remover, but he did the super kick right to a popsicle. Just 1 second. Uncle SNA is gonna get you one, but this is where he tried to go for a one. This is where he tried to go for a crossbody, but he counter spin around and hit him with a sling. But okay, I'll be back in 1 second. You're welcome. Anyways, I'm gonna finish my review right now. This is where Trick Williams is back on his feet. This is where Trick Williams starts stomping on him, which I would say I wouldn't just do a stomp, but he's like, this is when he twirled around, flipped him up. This is where he hits the most impressively tremendous, the most impressively tremendous Uranagi I have ever seen from a wrestling individual. And this is where it looked like he could have won with this move alone. This is where he pins him. Referee went 1, the referee went 2, but he kicks out at 2.7 seconds. I was like, this is when Booker T was like, dang, that was so close, Vic. And this is where Rhea Ripley swinged her women's world championship in the ring. This is where she started going to the referee, started arguing with him, distracting him, so Dominic could do something slick. This is when Trick see what he's doing. This is when he tried to lift up the championship. This is where Dominic tried to grab on his head and DDT'd. It took him like 5 extra seconds, and it was pretty much a botch at that time. But he DDT'd him right onto the championship. This is where he tried to pin him. This is where the referee hit 1, the referee hit 2, but he kicks out, and it was a miracle because he kicked out, and it was a miracle. He kicked out at 2.999999901 away from 3. This is where the fans are chanting, pull that trick. This is where Dirty Dom try to go for the 3 amigos, but this is where Trick Williams counters into the most devastating move in all sports entertainment, the small package roll-up. This is where he only got a 2 count. This is where Dom still started hitting started attacking him, hitting him with right hands to the midsection and started axe handling him and trying to stomp on him. This is where he tried to go for he attempts to reverse 619, which this is where he hit the 619, which looked like he was down for the count. This is where he tried to go for a frog splash right off the top rope. And then this is where Trick Williams had the knees up, that was the very smartest move that I ever seen from the North American champion. This is where he hits the running knee strike, which looked like he was about to win, like he was so close to winning. This is where Rhea Ripley came in. This is where Rhea Ripley came in and tried to distract the referee once again. This is where JD McDonough tried to hit a clothesline, but he ducked before he could do any kind of heel shenanigans. This is where he hits a running knee strike. Man did a two. I would say make him do a 210 right in the 6 feet in the air. This is where he's trying to pin Dominic Mysterio, but the referee's still too distracted. This is where Damian Priest, and then this is where he got back up and he's like, referee, come on, count my pin. And this is where Damian Priest sliding the Money in the Bank briefcase. This is where let's see, he tried to slide in the briefcase for Dominic Mysterio to use. This is where he ducks. This is where Dominic Mysterio tried to hit him with the championship, but the referee spotted him. He's like, "What are you doing? You can't do this. You won't be able to get your championship back if you're gonna win by a DQ victory." This is where JD McDonough hits him with that hit him with with his new crown, Trick Williams' new crown North American Championship, and that definitely did the job. And if that didn't convince Damian Priest that he's a JD Judgment Day material or not, I don't know what to say to the Demon Priest or the Demon Lord Priest, the Demon Lord Priest of the Judgment Day. And then this is where Dominic Mysterio took an advantage. He hits the frog splash, hitting him belly to back, right into his back. And then this is where he pins him for the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and regains his North American Championship. I was like, this is a shame for Williams, but I guess this is great news for the Judgment Day, including Dirty Doms and Mommy Rhea themselves, of him being a 2-time North American champion, unfortunately. And then all the members of the Judgment Day are holding gold again. And I was like, if that doesn't show JD as Judgment Day material, I don't know what to say, because he just saved the day, because Trick Williams was this close from becoming the North American champion. This close from retaining his North American champion. He was already champion. I meant to say he was this close of retaining, and it's a shame that he haven't. And I don't know what this leads on to Trick Williams. Only just probably see some tensions between Trick and Mello, of continuing of having these angles of if there's any pinch of doubt between the two of seeing if they can't be champion, if they don't have neither man don't have what it takes of being, whether it be in the NXT or the North American Championship, and then there's everybody stirring the pot, like with Ilya Dragunov and Dominic Mysterio and Braun Breaker being in denial. They're claiming that they're in denial, that they don't think that neither of their partners believe in one another. And what do you think about this? Do you think that one of them's going to snap and heel on one another? We're going to see a program with both men, of saying they never believe in each other, and it was all just a fluke and a fake. And this could probably have so much potential, but I just cannot see these guys, even though they've been teaming together for the past 2 years. I'm just not ready for them to split just yet, because they have a great run as a duo, and they're like a 2-man power trip of being champions of NXT and North American champion. But what do you think about Trick Williams' latest North American title being a 3-day reign, which is probably the shortest reign in WWE history? But yeah, I'm gonna let y'all know down in the comments. I'll let y'all be the judge about that in the comments down below. And then this is where we have some. This is where Paul Heyman came in and said like this is the first time that that John Cena is gonna be making his NXT appearance, with NXT being on a weekly, being on a cable broadcast television show, broadcast television channel on a cable broadcast television channel, which is the USA Network, and then while he said John Cena may be in the Carmelo's corner, and John Cena has been interfering into the Bloodline's business, and then while he's gonna be in Melo's corner, then I am gonna be in Braun Breaker's corner in NXT. And he started doing that maniacal smile. I was like, "Are you serious right now? Like I know you are. Like I know you are in this programming with John Cena, but I would not expect you to make an appearance on NXT of evening the odds on with this match with Carmelo Hayes taking on Braun Breaker." And I think this is probably not only a sign of what's to come with John Cena in the Bloodline, but it's also a tease that he could have Braun Breaker be the new Paul Heyman guy. The new Paul Heyman guy, like if once he's through with Roman Reigns, is the tribal chief. And whenever that day has come with him losing that undisputed WWE Universal Championship, and then Paul Heyman probably and in his partnership with the tribal chief is his wise man, and then he's gonna be the latest addition of the cop of the main roster of the meaner than evil man, the son and the nephew of the Steiner brothers himself, Braun Breaker. And he's going to be managing him in the main roster, whether they're on Raw or SmackDown, into a big money marquee feud. But yeah, that's probably in the next year or so, which we're going to probably have to figure that. We're probably going to have to see that become a reality in the upcoming months in the upcoming year. And what do y'all think about my theory about Paul Heyman being into the side of Braun Breaker just to get into the skin of John Cena? And then and I was thinking like talking about getting into the Bloodline's business, like ain't you kind of getting into Melo's business? Even though John Cena's an inspiration of Carmelo Hayes, but still, like that's interfering in the Melo's business against Braun Breaker, and you should probably stay out of Melo's business. Like it's kind of already bad enough that the Judgment Day were in the Trick Melo Gang's business, and it looks like they're stirring up a pot of this split up between the former NXT and North American champion and the former North American champion Trick Williams. But we're probably going to have to figure all this out in the next week in 7 days. And then also Asuka facing Roxanne Perez. Whether if she's NXT Women's, not NXT, whether if she's WWE Women's Championship or not, like it's going to be a guarantee. Whether if it's a guaranteed or not about the championship, it's definitely going to be a guaranteed against Roxanne Perez, and see if she can beat her undefeated NXT streak, like how the woman one of the women that she's going to face this Saturday at Fastlane did in the main roster at WrestleMania 34. Y'all let me know down in the comments below. Do you think that Roxanne Perez is going to be the woman and the youngest woman to beat Asuka in her undefeated streak in NXT? Yeah, y'all let me know in the comments down below. And what y'all thought about this video. That I'm going to end this video right here. And I'll say that I'm going to end this video. And I would say I'll give NXT 3.5 stars out of 4. And I hope I'm not being negative Nancy. I'm just saying, like, it wasn't the most exciting, but it was a very decent show, like it should be. And it's told a story on what's going to happen next in NXT and the main roster. And then It may look like a corner, but it looks like it's planting those future seeds of everything from not only now in the current time, but in the present, not only in the current time and the present, but also in the future. What's to come in the next 12 months from now. But yeah, I'm gonna let y'all decide about what you think about my journalism in the comment section down below, and what you thought about my video and how y'all rate tonight's NXT. And then please, I would love to hear that. Let me know down in the comments down below. And then I've been your host, SNA, Super Ninja Austin, was the 57th episode of the SNA podcast. And I hope y'all enjoyed it, which was the NXT review part 8. And tomorrow night I'm gonna be doing the AEW Dynamite review part 8. But on part 9 of Dynamite and NXT review, I'm gonna be doing a head-to-head back-to-back review with both shows, because AEW Dynamite is going to be on Tuesday, which was the first time in a year when it was on Tuesday. And then, well, who do you think is going to win the ratings into this one-off ratings war in this Tuesday night war one-off again? Y'all let me know in the comments down below. And thank you guys for watching, including you, Matt Choice, Keto in wrestling. Yeah, Matt Choice, Keto in wrestling for watching as well. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, comment down below on it, and like this video, smash the subscribe button, and click the bell notification for all y'all, for those who are not subscribed yet to my video. And I hope you'll be watching the pre-match, watch my latest review of AEW Dynamite, of the latest edition of Dynamite, and then I'm gonna do a little highlighted recaps on what happened, went down on this past Sunday at Wrestle Dreams, which was including at the main event at the post match brawl or beatdown from Nick Wayne, and with Nick Wayne turning on Darby Allin to join forces with Christian Cage, and he joined the beatdown with Christian Cage and Luchasaurus to take down Darby Allin and Sting. And this is where he tried to go over Concerto. This is where Edge comes back, which he's going by his real name, Adam Copeland. But it's been noted that he used the theme song, except it's a little different. It's now the beginning is "Think You Know Me" with a different voice, like if it was the AEW version. And also, he not only known as his real name, Adam Copeland, but as his nickname, the Rated R Superstar. And it said they haven't renewed the trademark since 2020, which he now has the trademark and he can use it. And he's using it, and I believe he owns the trademark, and he's using it in AEW as his real name, which some say he should have been just Adam, but either way, he still made his AEW debut, and the rumors were true, and he's known as Adam Copeland, and we're going to probably see him like this for multiple years to come, is him being all elite. And I want to give him a huge congratulations. I want to tell him straight up right here on this SNA podcast, I'm very happy for you, Adam Copeland. And I hope you do really great and do your best, and then be a success, a wrestling success like you was in WWE. And then I'm going to talk more about him tomorrow night on AEW Dynamite. And I cannot believe this rumors about his debut in All Elite Wrestling are true. And then, yeah, and I'll see you guys and viewers tomorrow night into my latest episode, which will be episode 58. Make sure y'all check that out. I've been your Super Ninja Austin, and I'll see you all there. Super Ninja Austin, the assassin, out.